Wwwaaaaspinatooooor is still best bee transformer, but Bumblebee is not bad.
Punch.
Yes.
We watched Bumblebee today. Or tonight, or whatever.
Yeah. And
we
it
watched
was
Bumblebee.
Definitely the best live-action Transformers movie that has been made so far, but that was not a very high bar to pass.
All it had to do was have a coherent story and some fun action, and it did that.
And not be directed by Michael Bay.
Yeah. Even though it's still produced by Michael Bay. Bay!
Yeah, but I assume by produced they mean like they had him like kicked up to the desk and just said, "Hi, Michael Bay, we're still working on the movie." He's like, "Okay, thanks,
yeah, because it was directed by Travis Knight, who apparently retired from Transformers after doing this movie. I'm not even kidding, I saw that this is his only Transformers movie. It's like, after this, don't go! We've had so much bad Bay, don't go, Travis Knight!
Well, the thing is, all they have to do is get someone else other than Michael Bay, and it's likely to be better than any of the one Michael Bay ones.
Yeah. So this is also a prequel to the original series of Transformers movies.
Basically, it's set in 1987. Yes. And basically, it starts off that the war on Cybertron, but they're losing badly, so they have to get into escape pods, and Optimus Prime directs Bumblebee
B-127, that's his code name.
Yeah, B-127.
To go to Earth. I have this remote planet, Earth, as he shows him on his holographic projection arm.
Yes, and like just set up a future Autobot base.
Yes, because right after that, Optimus gets in a fight with Soundwave and Shockwave and freaking other guys that were in the background.
Soundwave actually sounded like Soundwave. That was actually kind of awesome.
Fuck! I was gonna do my Dr. Claw because that was my initial. When I started doing the Dr. Claw voice, was my attempt at Soundwave.
I know. It works better as Dr. Claw than
I can't even remember. I'm like, my brain's trying to remember it. Like,
this is my gravelly Batman voice.
Go Ravage. That he's a lot more synthesized.
Well, yeah,
Soundwave
obviously.
is actually synthesized voice.
Yeah.
But yeah, then it cuts to San Francisco in the 1980s.
And
it cut to some random place on Earth where people are shooting at each other.
Oh yeah, it turns out to be like it sets it up like it's like an actual war zone, but then it's just like a paintball fight.
It looked like a military practice because they're on. I think they're on a military place, like.
Yeah, it was
like a military
training.
place.
Yeah, it was a training thing.
But like, it's our first introduction to John Cena, which is he did good, but we couldn't see him.
No, but one funny bit that John Cena started with it started with these like guys in SWAT armor, but trying to but then
but one of them gets caught in a trap and he's hanging up in a tree, and John Cena is just whoops. Faulty trigger. That one. It's like,
I really gotta get this thing replaced.
And he's like, the black guy who's stuck in the tree is like, "Oh man, you could have taken out an eye. I got a date tonight." And then whoops. He's holding it in his hands. It's just going whoops, 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 whoops. Basically, just keep shooting him. Yeah. And then eventually cuts him down.
Yeah.
And then Bumblebee crash lands in the middle of them, killing people.
Yeah, and the thing is, I was really expecting that black guy was gonna be sort of like a semi-comic relief character throughout the movie, but he never shows up again after that scene. Making me wonder, did he die in that scene? They never said anything about him ever again. I don't think they even give him a name.
It's possible John Cena was the only one that survived that. Because he calls in like he calls in EMAC, like emergency, like care.
Yeah.
The evacs for people, and he's like, "Who's setting off napalm explosions?" And the base is like, "There's no explode. We have nothing scheduled for today." And like, "Then why's shooting at us?" It's Bumblebee.
What I'm surprised is that none of them, like before, obviously they saw Bumblebee or whatever. None of them thought, well, maybe it's a meteor. Because that's kind of what they look like, meteors. But anyway.
he thought it was a napalm explosion.
Yeah, but
he's like, who's Who's authorized? He said some. As I said, he mentioned he blah blah blah. So he thought it was a napalm explosion.
I've never seen like napalm explosions in like footage or anything, so I don't know what they look like. But I don't think they would look like that.
That was his go-to.
Anyway, whatever.
But then it was Bumblebee, who takes who they start shooting at because more military guys showed up.
Yeah.
And he turns into like one of the military jeeps. And,
yeah.
And then eventually another Transformer crash lands as well. It's not Starscream, Blitzwing.
Yeah.
Who everyone's... I remember, because I follow a lot of Transformer guys on Twitter, because I'm one of them, so it's like, everyone's like, oh look, it's Starscream's new design, and somebody from the movie is like, no, that's not Starscream. I'm like, god damn. It looks exactly like Starscream should look.
Yeah.
Because Starscream in the original series of movies was all gray, and he looked like a flat plate, basically. Like his best description was like a sunfish torso.
Yeah.
He looked nothing like his old self, which was one of the complaints of a lot of the Transformers from the original 6 movies. But no, this guy shows up. He's a jet. He looks like Starscream. He has the same colors as Starscream, and he proceeds to beat the crap out of Bumblebee, even ripping out basically his vocal cords.
Well, voice, systems, whatever, audio systems.
He's telling Bumblebee to talk, to tell him
where's Optimus Prime,
and he's like, you won't talk? Let's make that permanent. Just
let's make it official.
And just stabs him in the neck.
And basically, Bumblebee's like, I'll never say anything. He's like, then let's make it official.
Because Bumblebee did have a few proper talking scenes in the flashback.
And one thing that I never expected Bumblebee to sound like is Cheetor. Basically, I was like, when I was seeing the first 10 minutes of this movie, like, wait, Bumblebee is like Cheetor? I never thought that. He completely changed after that first scene, because after that initial battle, he did manage to defeat not Starscream.
Yeah.
But he was...
by using one of his own missiles, sticking in his chest, and then blowing it the hell up.
Yeah, but then he was, critically damaged, and his...
he had to shut down, and his
memory core failure.
Yeah.
But just before that, he was able to scan a
Volkswagen
yellow,
Beetle.
Yeah, an old-fashioned one.
Good old designed by Hitler. No, I was gonna say
I know.
No, Cheetor and Bumblebee, they are both technically Kid Appeal characters, so you could have said that Cheetor originally based off of Bumblebee. Because Bumblebee is that big compared to the Transformers in the original 84 cartoon. He is supposed to be the small one. He's basically the really small one that hangs out with the human kid, which is everything his character is, and even in the movie.
Yeah, that's one great thing that Beast Wars did. No actual humans. The closest thing we get is proto-human ape people in one episode. So yeah.
Yeah, but then we cut to the main human person, Charlie Watson.
Who isn't a boy. She's a girl, so that's...
And she actually had a fully developed character with an arc and growth and everything, where she was a former diver who lost her father. Yeah. And the thing they had in common that they loved was fixing cars.
If there's only one minor complaint about that, it is a very, 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 very old and tired cliche, especially from the 80s and 90s of a kid that doesn't fit in who has a dead parent.
It's better than what we got from Shia LaBeouf, which was nothing.
No. What we got was no. Now I'm imagining, rethinking back to that first original, Bay movie, because, Bumblebee went to Sam Witwicky then. I'm wondering if Bumblebee thought immediately after he started, getting to know Sam Witwicky, he's like, I picked the wrong driver. I miss Charlie. Who is this asshole?
Yeah, the only thing Shia LaBeouf had was that his ancestor was the one who discovered the Transformers.
Why does he never shut up?
But yeah, she's living with her mother and her, I guess, stepfather, probably.
Yeah, stepfather. Yeah.
It was never acknowledged whether.
Yeah, she remarried. Yeah.
Yeah. But kind of as if you go back to the other house.
Anyway.
And her martial arts obsessed brother.
A younger
brother.
Yeah.
And it's not immediately like the story doesn't immediately tell why she is the way she is. It allows you to try and like gather your own idea of what happened to her before they tell you. Her dad had a heart attack, and
the thing is,
they couldn't fix a car.
The thing is, what I was surprised is there was a heart attack. I was predicting that it was going to be a car crash, considering their affection for cars.
No,
but
it was just a heart attack in the 80s.
Yeah.
I guess in the 80s they couldn't help heart attacks because nowadays you actually have a chance of surviving from a heart attack.
Even back then in the 80s they did too, but even now, like, if you don't get help quick enough... Yeah.
Plus, Charlie's mom's a nurse, so I don't know if that didn't really play into the story, but...
No,
you would have thought if her husband... She's a nurse. If her husband's having a heart attack, wouldn't she know enough to... either try and save him or drive him to the hospital?
Yeah, they did. That was very much a sort of just a brushed over line, and I think they sort of just added that in. Her father's dead. How did he die? Okay, heart attack. There we go.
Probably.
Script finished. That was probably the last word they put in the script.
Yeah.
Just because they needed a cause of death for the dad.
Yeah. But then she goes to visit her uncle, who's... I know I've seen the actor places, I just can't remember.
No, but he runs a
junk shop. Yeah,
junk shop.
And she's basically taking the first time we see her. It's the day before her birthday. That's like a pivotal plot point for her characters.
You know what's weird is that that was also the plot in the first Transformers movie with Shia LaBeouf.
Reused plot because they didn't have.
It wasn't his birthday. It was because he got like an A on his test or something, which he actually didn't. He forced his teacher to give him an A.
Right. But no, so she takes some parts from a boat to try and fix the car that wouldn't work.
Mm.
Oh, and then she finds Bumblebee,
which actually had a beehive under the hood, and she wasn't fazed by that in the slightest, despite the fact that if you get that close to a beehive, they will swarm you.
But there was also, they were dysfunctional family. They were a dysfunctional family because she doesn't like Braun, and...
Yeah, well, basically...
And she wants a car, but they don't have enough money for a car.
Yeah, and then there's this really, really awkward moment where it's her birthday and they're giving her gifts. The mother gives her this like really flowery bike helmet, and then
she has a moped. That's how she gets around.
Yeah.
On her bike, it's a moped.
Yeah, and then
the mother's like,
I know it's not the law yet, but I've seen a lot of these documentaries
about mopeds, accidents, and people landing on their brains and squishing their brains.
Yeah.
And this is our law. This is our law.
Yeah.
And just Charlie completely forgets it.
Yeah. Or just chooses to ignore it more. Yeah. And then, well, she wore the helmet in one scene in the movie.
After basically reconciling with her mother.
Yeah. But she didn't even strap it. She just let it down.
And her dad gave her a book on smiling, or her stepfather.
on how smiling makes you feel better.
It's like, this is like really
awkward.
Even she's like, really? Because she's 18. She turns 18 at this point. So
yeah.
She's a moody teenager in the movie.
I had someone like you. She told me how to smile more.
You want to know how I got these scars?
Then one day the sharks carved her face.
But she finds Bumblebee, and it doesn't work properly. So she wants to take it from her uncle and work for him, and she insults his toilets. And she's like, "I'll even clean your disgusting toilets." And he's like, "We're not hiring. You can have it. My toilets are clean. My toilets are perfect." It's like, why get offended at toilets? Like, maybe just because the original movies had so much lowbrow humor.
Yeah.
But it still had to be something left over, I guess.
Yeah.
But also, we get the second plot related to Bumblebee, where two other robots, two Decepticons, are
who
hunting
weren't named in the movie, but we went to Walmart after and saw their toys and
Dropkick and Shatter, I believe.
Yeah.
But they had Cliff Jumper, and they were beating the crap out of him.
Yeah, on one of the moons of Saturn. I couldn't figure out which one it was, but definitely not Titan. They didn't have an atmosphere.
He had been in an escape pod. Like earlier in the fight scene, they showed all the Autobots. Like they showed RC, they showed Wheeljack, they showed a bunch of guys, like 4 or 5 distinct Autobots from the original cartoon. Even Optimus in this movie looked a lot better than the designs they gave him for the movie. Like he actually looked like a more detailed version of what he originally looked like.
Yeah, and not just like a mess of like CGI rubble.
That doesn't even look like it could transform into a truck.
Yeah, just looks like. But anyway, one thing that got me scratching my head a little bit is that they were on one of the moons of Saturn, meaning the Decepticons had figured out that one of the Autobots had escaped to our solar system, but they didn't put 2 and 2 together that the only habitable planet in that solar system was their target destination until Bumblebee's signal accidentally got sent out into space.
But they consider Earth primitive, so there's no point in looking there. Like there's nothing there for the Transformers to look for, so they wouldn't like go there.
Yeah, but you would have thought that they'd put 2 and 2 together, that if they're headed in that direction, that must be, like, that's the most likely, place to start looking.
I believe Optimus said it was a remote planet, so maybe no one just goes there
They ended up on one of Saturn's moons.
Eh?
That's pretty damn close compared to the vastness of the galaxy. That's pretty damn close.
I'm surprised they didn't fight Thanos.
Yeah, but in Infinity War, it wasn't Titan the Saturn's moon. Titan was a planet. Which wasn't what it was in the comics, but, because, Thanos threw a moon at the Avengers, and Titan doesn't have its own moon. I mean, you could argue you threw one, but then how would they have been able to...
Okay! Enough. But then, like, she accidentally activates Bumblebee's, like, obvious his distress call, basically, or, like, his signature, and they're able to identify it. And then one of the blue one, Dropkick, just cuts Cliff Jumper half up the middle. Yeah. He said something sarcastic, like something, you deserve a better death, oh well, and then just cuts him right in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, no, Cliff Jumper, oh well. The movie's not about you, it's about Bumblebee.
Yeah. But,
then the military, oh, the Decepticons were actually smart. No, throughout the rest of the 6 movies, they've all been slobbering monsters.
Yeah.
This one, they were actually smart and deceptive. Like, they actually lived up to their names. Like, they were able to convince the humans to help them.
Even though,
John Cena.
Even though Dropkick was kind of like a little bit, snarky about it first, like,
Murder.
What, we're going to do this? Okay, we're doing this now.
Yeah.
I just wanted to kill them all, but, you're going to ruin my fun.
Yeah. They were even introduced, they even landed on Earth, because some hillbilly...
Yeah, was really obsessed with this new car
that he bought instead of buying a house, and his girlfriend was leaving him.
Yeah.
So then the blue one, Dropkick, shows up, and Shatter transforms. Oh no, Dropkick landed, and he's like, not the car, not the car, not the car. So it hit a truck.
Yeah.
That was driving by.
And he's like, oh, at least it didn't hit the car.
And then another one hit the car.
Yeah. And then I think it was Shatter became transformed into that car, and he's like driving out of the fire. He's like, "Is that my car?" But no, it's Shatter, and she.
No, Shatter is his car. He had the red one. Shatter was the red one.
Yes,
it was the blue one that came by. That came out of the car, and then because Shatter was still sitting there, and then Shatter transforms, and they start talking. It's like. And Dropkick's like, can I kill him? Just kills the guy.
Yeah, and that's another weird thing about the movie. Not necessarily a complaint, but it's a bit weird. When they kill humans in this movie, they turn into this, like, clear, transparent goop.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I get it, it's PG-13. You don't want to, like, blood splatter everywhere, but I mean, couldn't you just, like, vaporize them into a puff of smoke or something? Or, like,
I don't know why that's random decision by the higher-ups.
Like, just a little bit of a flame, kind of, like, whoosh.
I don't know. Random decision by the higher-ups.
Yeah, I don't know.
But,
weird.
so then Dropkick and Shatter go to the humans, and, like, John Cena's, no, he's, like, dead fast. No, I want to destroy them. And this stupid science guy whose name in the movie is Friend Powell, because that's what Shatter keeps calling him, Friend Powell. I believe Shatter's a girl.
Yes.
At least voiced by a woman.
Yeah.
But she's like, thank you, Friend Powell. Because he convinces them to join up with the Decepticons to hunt Bumblebee, who they just call a fugitive.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to convince the humans that they're the good ones.
Yeah.
And they do. They're convincing enough, but not to John Cena.
Yeah, and especially since
they call themselves Decepticons.
Yeah, and the fact that Dropkick basically is, almost screwed up her planet at the beginning when they first encountered it. Was what are you doing? We're trying to. Okay, we're doing this. Okay.
Yeah, even John Cena when they show up, he's like, "There's 100 guns on you. Make one more move, and we'll put you down."
Yeah.
But the science guy, and then is able to we can use them. We can use them. Where are my evil scientist glasses? Never mind.
Yes, and here's one pair.
He's basically an evil scientist.
Well, it turns out he's not. It's so much evil because he does realize his mistake later. But I mean,
but he's like, we can use them to help us.
And he makes the one convince, since it was in the 80s, the one argument that he uses to convince the military to.
Do you really want to lose the Cold War? If we don't have them, they'll go to the Russians.
Yeah, and then
they're all enough oh, okay.
Yeah.
Even the general isn't completely convinced. He's like, we'll use them and then destroy all of them. And John Cena's like, yes, sir. Because John Cena's like, they're Decepticons. Is that not a red flag?
Yeah.
Their name is deceptive. Although Autobots does stand for they're cars first, and it's not. Autobot is supposed to be automotive robot, something not automatic, whatever.
And then Maximals and Predacons is another little thing.
But then they show the Decepticons creating the internet.
Yeah, basically, they were led into the satellite room or whatever, where they monitor the military monitors all the military satellites, and then Shadow is like, what is that communication device over there? And what they're getting is, oh, you mean that's a phone? And it's like, does it connect worldwide? And then basically the next scene is they're saying, the scientist guy, this is amazing, we're creating a worldwide web through the phone system.
The internet.
This will change the world forever.
And it has. Not necessarily in the best ways.
Well, it allows you to see us, not that you will, because nobody watches our videos.
Yeah. But then their end goal is to use the satellite to send a message back to Cybertron to tell the Decepticons to bring an army because they're going to destroy the planet and basically kill everyone.
Yeah.
And the scientist friend Powell was like,
I have made a mistake.
And he calls John Cena and he's like, they're going to do this, and this. And the Dropkick's like, can I kill him? Sure. No thought at all. Can I kill him?
And one of the lines when he first killed the hillbilly is like, this is the humans are funny when they die. They go pop.
Yeah. And they keep calling us what is it? Freaking basically non-technologically advanced.
Yeah, primitive.
Primitive.
Yeah. But
we had to have more scenes with Charlie. I was surprised how the initial scenes almost went by like that. They would go like 2 or 3 lines of dialogue, and then they cut to a transition with music. It was like for the first third of the movie, they kept doing that. It was like 2 or 3 lines of dialogue, cut away with music, transition with music, 2 or 3 lines of dialogue, cut away, transition with a song playing like an 80s song.
Well, I mean, it's an action movie. You gotta keep the plot going to keep people interested.
Eventually, they started going more drawn out talking scenes. But I was like surprised at how fast paced, like almost too fast at the start of it. Like, like it wasn't like you could understand what everything happened. Like Haley, or like the actress's name is Haley. I kept wanting.
Again, though, it's a cheesy action movie. You gotta keep the pace really fast in order to keep people invested, right?
Yeah. But like we had to go through Charlie's every day where she worked. Met a guy named Momo.
I'm not gonna.
I think it was Momo.
Yeah, anyway, he's black guy with an afro.
Yeah, and
he's a nerd.
Yeah, he's a nerd, and he has a crush on her.
Yeah.
So he becomes basically the secondary character in the movie. Not without as much character growth, but.
Yeah, but at least he's not like the annoying side characters from all the other movies.
Like, he tries to help. Like, he does help a little bit, but, like, he was just there to be a love interest for Charlie, basically.
Yeah, now all he needs is a little, you know, lightning shooting, talking rodent with a deerstalker hat to help him out. That's a different actor, though. But the design looks very similar. Anyway.
But the story is, like, her story is, she doesn't like being at home, because obviously her dad's, all she can think about is her dad. Her family's moved on, but she hasn't.
Yeah.
And she's, like, life kind of sucks, because, like, her work sucks, because she tries to deliver lemonade, and she spills all over this guy from school.
Yeah, the stereotypical jock bully kind of, and who hangs out with
girlfriend,
who are all, you know, really, you know, horrible people, because they keep making fun of her for the fact that her dad died, and they're like, and it was great at one moment, like part way through the film, where like they're like on this the cliffside, and you know, they're all doing the you know,
he jumps off and
into like the water, like the water.
He wants her to jump off, but she can't do it because it just makes her sad. Think of her father. Yeah. Because he filmed her diving, diving competitions, and then the girl knocks on her window. It's like, what's wrong? I can't remember what she said. What happened there? That was your chance to
finally look cool. I bet your dad could have taught you. Oh wait.
Yeah, it's like
comeuppance, please show us.
Like even at that point, I almost facepalmed. Like, oh, seriously? Like, I was like, oh.
Thankfully, they didn't make us wait too long for their comeuppance.
Because eventually, the guy, the love interest,
Momo,
walks in on Bumblebee as a robot.
Yeah, well, that was early in the movie.
That was early, but we have to talk about it anyway. Yeah. Because it's part of the... Like, he walks in because he lives across from her, like, he's really awkward, he's like, hi, he's like, how are you? And she's like, I don't have time right now. Like that happened to him twice. Yeah. He just has the worst timing. Yeah. So he's relatable. But he walks in and she's like, you can't tell anybody what you saw, because if you do, I'll run over you with my car. She's like, I didn't mean it like that. No one else can know about this, because what are the police gonna do? Take him away and do science stuff. Yeah. And then like there was a whole montage of her trying to help him, like
trying to teach Bumblebee how to hide.
And like her mom taking him away to go to the vet with their dog. Yeah, because and her chasing them down on her moped, because it's a Bumblebee. It's not that fast. It's a Volkswagen Beetle. It's not that fast. Yeah. And like, her trying to communicate with him and like learn his name.
And then he eventually starts teaching himself how to talk using his stereo.
Yeah, because she had to fix it, and she would play cassettes, and he would just go, nope.
Yeah, never gonna give you up, never gonna let it.
Yeah. And he became obsessed with the Breakfast Club. just like the ending scene from The Breakfast Club. Like I've actually seen that movie. And I'm like, why are you watching The Breakfast Club in the 80s? Was that popular in the 80s?
I guess so.
And he found a record that is very obvious, like symbolism of. He found a record that talks about that's a song about cars that her and her dad love.
Yeah.
It's like it's a little bit forced. It almost feels forced.
Yeah.
Just to get the emotional like depth they wanted. But it's like sure he just picked a random album and it had to do with her and her father. Like yeah, that felt a little bit forced. Yeah. Honestly.
And then we need to get to the comeuppance of the bullies.
Oh yeah, they drive to her
so basically,
house.
Well, no, we have to it was actually the nerdy guy Momo that suggested. Yeah. You know what'll make you feel better?
Revenge.
So
they drive to her house and they try and they try and first teepee her house and they try and get Bumblebee to do it and he's too strong so he just crushes the toilet paper and then he tries to she shows him to throw it at the tree. Yeah. And then he just grabs the case and throws it all at the tree. So they're like, that didn't work. Let's do eggs. And Momo eggs her car. Yeah. So then Bumblebee walks over with the whole 2 cartons of eggs, crushes them, and basically covers the top of it. Yeah. And then stomps on it. And then hits it, and then stomps on it.
And then, of course, sets off the car alarm. Though, did cars have alarms back then?
Maybe.
I don't
They just need an excuse for the bitch to
The loud noise of crunching it should have been enough.
Yeah.
Because apparently car alarms existed back then.
Apparently it wasn't because they didn't react to that. The people in the house they didn't react to crunch, crunch, crunch. They only reacted to the car alarm.
Yeah, but nitpick.
But he was able to hide. He flipped the car over and hid behind it, thinking he wouldn't be seen.
No, like we practiced. Turn back into a car.
Oh yeah, I remember when the mom was driving to the vet. He transformed his arm out of the
to wave at her
out of the boot of the car.
Yeah, and then saw the dog dog.
She's like, no, don't do that. Put that robot stuff away. We have to, and then they find the bully comes out, sees her car, says, "Mom!" But then the ending sequence where the military find Bumblebee and capture him.
Well, we have to get to there's an important part where we have to how this was set up. Basically, the next day after that kerfuffle, well, actually no, not just that, but after that, they get. The cops try to pull them over for speeding. Oh yeah. But then Bumblebee decides that instead of obeying her to stop and pull over,
he's just gonna escape.
Yeah, and then a full chase scene. Yeah. And then, but after that, she decides, okay, now you have to stay here because the cops are going to be looking for you. Yeah. But then he doesn't stay there. He goes into the house and accidentally breaks everything. Oh yeah. And then he discovers an electrical outlet. And is like, and then that sends the signal somehow through the entire.
It blows up a couple radio towers.
And basically, somehow that sends the transmission that allows the Decepticons to find them.
Yeah. And at some point, they activated
the "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope" from Optimus Prime thing.
And then she. What was it? Like her mom gets mad because her mom comes home.
And yeah, the whole house is wrecked.
Yeah. But then, yeah, the freaking John Cena and them come after Bumblebee, and they find that somehow something reactivates his memories.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they brought out these super tasers.
Yeah. But they capture him, and the Decepticons are beating the crap out of him. Yeah. For no reason other than just beating the crap out of him.
Well, they were trying to interrogate him, but...
What was the point when they were just going to destroy Earth anyway? They already had their goal of sending the message through the radio tower.
No, they were actually still trying to find where Optimus Prime was.
Oh,
when they were beating him up, it triggered that, I think, at some
point... The full message which said, Optimus said, "We're coming here."
And they're like,
we're gonna bring war here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, right. But then they're able. Charlie's able to free him, revive him.
Yeah, with the super tasers.
Yeah,
basically they defibrillated him.
Yeah. And it reactivated his killer instinct, basically.
Yeah, but
red glowy eyes.
Yeah, but the way that looked, it actually looked like a defibrillation, like.
Yeah.
They even treated it like a defibrillation scene.
Even Haley's like, "Don't go! I can't lose somebody. I can't lose somebody else."
And then, of course, you know, the fake out where, like, they've given up, oh, he's dead, but then he's rising up from the...
And then
John Cena arrives and, like...
Plants some C4 on the door.
Like, he says, like, there's a door in my way. And instantly they all know, okay, we gotta blow up this door.
It's like,
instead of, like, just opening the door, it's like, there's a door in my way. And then,
blow it up.
Yeah.
Wow. And that pisses off Bumblebee because he sees Charlie knocked out.
Yeah.
And so he starts killing them, basically.
Well,
he starts blowing up their weapons and vehicles.
It's not clear whether he actually killed anyone or whether he pulled a Terminator 2 and just, you know, only destroyed the vehicles and all the soldiers had enough time to just get out of Dodge just quickly enough to...
Yeah.
It was vague. They left it vague.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna assume that it was a Terminator 2 like situation.
But there was also a scene where Charlie, I keep calling her Haley because that's the actress's name, Haley. Charlie's back at home and John Cena's in her kitchen talking to her mother about the robot.
Yeah, basically saying that she had stolen
government technology.
Yeah.
And she's like, I didn't steal him. And he's like, John Cena's like, I promise you, it is an it. What the fuck does that mean?
Well, basically, he's saying it's a machine. Stop treating it like a person. And it's dangerous. Is what was his policy. It's a machine that's dangerous and...
I'm going to destroy it.
Yeah. It's certainly a lot better motivation than in Age of Extinction, where it's just like, we're going to destroy all the Transformers for no reason, and yet we're going to team up with some of them to... Wait a minute, they did that in this.
No, it was...
There was better motivation in this one for that.
No, their motivation was they had a weapon that would turn the planet basically inhospitable and into transformium, this bullshit kind of metal.
Yeah, well, I mean, isn't Energon kind of bullshit kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah, but whatever. We're not talking about bad Transformers movies today. We already did that.
Yeah. But then they escape, and they have to go after the Decepticons, but not before some stunt driving from her dad, Ron.
Yeah.
Stepdad, Ron.
Yeah,
She's like, nice driving, Ron. Every time she talked to him, she'd end her sentence with Ron.
Yeah,
thanks for the book, Ron. Like, what? Like, she obviously doesn't like him.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it's that tired cliche of, like, you know, the misunderstood protagonist just can't get along with the stepdad.
Yeah. Even freaking Power Rangers did that. I remember from the last year's movie. It wasn't a stepdad, it was an actual parent, but he still...
Yeah.
They were having issues because he... Never mind.
And in Terminator 2, he's not my mother, Todd. But then again, they were actual assholes. They deserved what they got.
But then they have to... Bumblebee gets to the radio tower they're using, or the satellite tower, and he starts having a fight with Dropkick, which was... like, one thing way better in this movie was, like, They showed every robot in frame, all their whole body in frame transforming. Like, it wasn't hidden behind bad CGI. It was
it wasn't
up front, and they showed you.
It didn't look like just a mess of like white Lego blocks.
Yeah. Like, both Dropkick and Shatter were triple changers, so there were times where they would transform from like, even to show up
a helicopter and a jet to
cars to
then into robots. Except for one moment where it was kind of redundant. They were already like in jet and helicopter mode. Then they transformed into cars and then immediately transformed into robots. They were low enough, why didn't they just transform right into robots? So why bother going to the car stage at that point?
Maybe because they still didn't want to land hard because it would still hurt. to like soften the landing. I don't know. That's just whatever.
They did it because it looked cool. That's why.
Yeah.
No other reason.
But Dropkick and Bumblebee had a really fun fight.
Yeah.
Like, it was actually like it was Dropkick mostly just beating the crap out of Bumblebee.
Drop kicking.
And Bumblebee like he freaking pulled off he used wrestling moves on Dropkick.
Yeah.
He literally did.
He was probably watching wrestling on the TV.
Yeah, from the 80s. Yeah, he's probably watching Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting how he actually killed Dropkick because
he like managed to get this big thing of chain, so he wrapped him up
around his helicopter blades because he transformed into a helicopter, and as Dropkick transformed back into a robot, he's like, "What? You think these chains are gonna?" And he
Bumblebee just like yanked on them, and it just because of how tightly wound around the chains got around all Dropkick's components, it just shredded him.
Yeah.
And shredded open his power supply.
It's just kind of a moment of what the fuck just happened. It's just like you think these chains are gonna hold? I'm like, you didn't even let him finish his sentence. But Charlie, who was at that point hiding in a
dumpster,
which was a really bad idea.
Yeah.
Because.
Well, I mean, the Mythbusters actually tested whether hiding in a dumpster could protect you from an explosion, and to a degree, it kind of can, but that's irrelevant.
In movies, if Indiana Jones can survive a bomb going off in a lead line, if he can survive
nuking the fridge
in a lead line refrigerator, I think we can let Haley survive. Charlie, fuck.
Well, you know, what's interesting is in the first Terminator movie, they pulled the hide in the dumpster to protect from an explosion too. Although the explosion was a fair distance away. It was just an oil tanker, so it was really more to protect from the fire than the explosion.
This one exploded right below her.
Yeah,
and she was hurt a little bit. Like she had some bruising, and she was like knocked silly a little bit.
At least in the first Terminator movie, it didn't knock the thing around. It just kind of protected him from the fire, because blowing up an oil tanker, it's the most of the explosion is just going to be fire everywhere, and that's really what he was protecting himself against. So that made sense.
But then she decided to climb up the satellite tower to remove the transceiver.
Yeah, basically turn into a Mario platformer game.
Dream, dream. And then Shatter tries to kill her, but can't hit her.
Yeah.
Because obviously she's the main character. She can't die.
Because Stormtrooper aim.
And then Shatter
But also there's the fact that she didn't want to hit the tower because that's what she was trying to use to transmit the signal.
Yeah.
So she was, she couldn't just missile it.
No. Well, she did. She wanted to.
Yeah, but
then Bumblebee caught her. Or no, John Cena in a helicopter shot at her.
Yeah, so it kind of turned into like King Kong for a minute there.
So Shatter then blew up the helicopter, but Bumblebee saved it, which earned John Cena's respect.
Like,
that was literally the end. John Cena was like, "Soldier!"
And Bumblebee is like,
"Yeah, don't you forget about me." Don't.
Oh yeah, and then we have to get to how they finished off Shatter. It was basically Shatter and Bumblebee started, fighting, and then
she's like, "I'll kill you."
But then Bumblebee shoots a missile, and she's like, "You missed."
And it hit a wall, basically.
A dam.
A dam, yeah.
It was a dam, and then the water is like, and she's like, "You'll kill us both."
He's basically holding her in front of him, trying to like self-sacrifice.
Yeah, and basically it wasn't just the water.
It was like an oil tanker.
Yeah,
something.
well, I think more of an aircraft carrier.
Something, but it collided into her, causing her to fly backwards and die.
Yeah, well, basically it smushed her into a bridge, and she exploded. But Bumblebee was saved by just sinking. Yeah. He just let go of the ship and just sank into the water. Yeah. And then we get the payoff of
all the emotional tension where
the
Charlie finally
did
a dive again.
Yeah.
And jumped off to save Bumblebee.
Well, I mean, there wasn't really... She couldn't have lifted him. No, but I mean, she had to go to make sure he was all right, and he was, so they both resurfaced.
And then we got John Cena saying, "My friends are coming. They're gonna come get you. Get going."
Yeah.
Soldier! They even played the touch at one point. I forgot what scene it was.
You got the touch. You got the power. It was actually the scene where the first scene on the cliff when they're trying to encourage her to do the dive.
Because that's the original, like one of the Transformers songs from the original cartoon is "The Touch" by Stan Bush.
Yeah.
I was one of the only few people in the theater that actually laughed at that because I got that. I got the reference. I heard some other little kid laugh at it, but I don't think a lot of people either. If some of the older fans probably recognized it, but it didn't cause them to laugh at.
Yeah.
But then they're looking down at the last scene is oh well, she went back to her house because her and Momo or something.
Yeah. Got
separated at one point because.
Yeah, basically he pulled the go ahead, I'll buy you time, but it was a subversion because he tried to they all just drove around. Well, that didn't work.
Yeah, and she gave him a kiss on the cheek. He's like, "Did you just kiss me?"
It was on the cheek. It still counts. Still counts.
Still counts. It's like, yes, I've made it one step further. He's a very nerdy way.
Yeah. Even the end of the movie kind of.
He tried to hold her hand. She's like,
nope, "We're not there. We're not there." I was like, "Oh." Okay.
But she went back to her family, who helped her and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I think the military as a thanks for helping save the world, they helped pay to fix their house.
Probably.
Yeah.
And then Momo showed up and they held hands and they laughed. And he had his arm in a sling because getting knocked around by explosions would do that. Yeah. Probably broke his arm.
Yeah.
But she drives away back to the cliff, or a cliff looking over the
Golden Gate Bridge.
Golden Gate Bridge, yeah. And she's like, "You gotta go. You got people who are waiting for you, and so do I." And then he scans a Camaro and transforms into a Camaro. She's like, "Seriously? You could have been a Camaro the whole time?"
And I think it was actually the Camaro model that we see him
in the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that movie, then he transformed into a newer model of Camaro.
Yeah. That was probably the one where Sam Wiki found.
Yeah. No.
So he drives down. He drives down to Golden Gate Bridge and comes across Optimus Prime.
Yeah, not the Optimus Prime from the Bay movies, the more modeled after the original G1 Optimus.
Like his original truck mode with the cargo, with the giant square, basically shipping container, with the same stripe that even the toy had. Oh, like seriously? You just freaking.
I mean, I'm not going to complain about the version that from the first movie, which was that truck with the flame pattern.
He was a long-nosed Western Star truck, I believe.
Which, I heard the story behind that Michael Bay was looking for around and just saw that and it's like Optimus Prime, and I'm like, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So I wasn't complaining about that, but
And then he switched. He was a Western Star in Age of Extinction. I can't remember what he was before that.
Yeah.
Because he switched. Oh, because.
In the first movie, he was like a 16-wheeler or whatever.
Semi-truck, basically.
with that red and blue flame pattern, and I can see why you pick that.
But yeah, they drive away, and then they basically the last scene is him talking about Bumblebee saying, "You protected this world,"
and then the other Autobots
about to show up.
Yeah,
basically Ironhide, Ratchet, all the ones from the first movie.
Yeah.
Probably. But, yeah. We went longer than... That was...
Yeah. The thing is, I know this is just me being dorky, but when I saw them right on the Golden Gate Bridge there, I was really... All I was thinking in my head was, Caesar is home. I kept wanting to see like a bunch of apes, on the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yes.
If this was a Beast Wars movie, that would have been because
that was the next thing I was going to bring up.
Primal is home.
I really hope, people. I remember the build-up to this movie. Everyone was like, "Oh, is it a reboot or is it like a prequel?" Blah blah. Like there was a lot of discussion about that. Like, yes, it's a prequel, but it's also like a soft kind of reboot where it reboots the character designs.
Yeah.
But I hope it leads to new movies that aren't so we can just delete the original 1 to 6.
Yeah.
And speaking of, I have a challenge for the viewers. If this video gets 60 likes, 1 like for each of the other Transformers movies, we will go back.
You mean 10 likes for each of the original?
10, sorry. Yes.
60 likes, yeah.
We will go back. We will rent and watch the other 6 Transformers movies and review them. As punishing as that is.
I mean, we already did the 4th one.
No, we didn't. We weren't reviewing movies at that time.
We weren't?
Pretty sure we weren't. I think we'd stopped.
But also, there was only 5 movies, not 6. Unless you count the one from the 80s, which was actually good, but I've never seen. No, there were only 5. Yeah, there were 5.
Okay, sorry.
5.
So 50 likes.
50, yeah, 50. But yeah.
Punish ourselves even more.
I mean, the first one was I didn't hate.
But still.
The 4th one,
The challenge is on you.
Yeah. I didn't even really hate the 4th one. I just kind of, it was just,
They're just
boring.
Painful. They're painful.
Well, I heard some of the other ones were painful, but for me, Age of Extinction was just kind of boring.
Well, apparently in Dark of the Moon, they actually blew up Cybertron. They destroyed Cybertron. So they destroyed the planet, which should have prevented any more robots from appearing, but nope. Oh well.
So, yeah, I've been Ace keeping up your sleeve.
And I wish I could show you the fact that I'm wearing a Decepticon shirt underneath, but it's purple!
Yeah, and it would disappear on the blue screen.
For 1 second.
Yeah.
That's the closest you're gonna get. Bye.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Waspinator is still best Transformer.
End the video already. Damn it.